Hold on. Okay. Wait, guys, I was just on a rant about YouTube not sending out notifications, but this was a Streamlabs fuck up. This is a mess. Somehow Streamlabs says we're streaming and it never connected to YouTube to start the stream. So I was sitting here just ranting basically to myself about YouTube not sending out notifications, and I'd never seen anything like it. And it was Streamlabs that did it this time. Jesus Christ, you can't win. None of these companies can keep their shit working. I mean, you naturally think it's YouTube because YouTube fucks up all the time. But this time, Streamlabs was sitting here saying that it's streaming and never contacted YouTube servers to make the stream live. Unbelievable. Unreal. Now it's starting to get there. Ashy's in, and Lunatic and Yanni, and Jill, and Cthulhu, and Austin, and Mike, and Josh, and Zuchen, and Z Productions, and Zion, and Dallas. Yeah, this will be a fun stream. As I wrote in the description, I was actually going to be talking about some of the stuff going on in the world today. And of course, there's nothing going on in the world today that's good, that's fun. And as I was going to do it, it's like, you know what? You can go anywhere to have conversations about this, whether it's live streams or Discord servers or whatever. Let's just talk about fun stuff. Let's just talk about things we enjoy, things that make us happy, things to look forward to, and just take a break. Maybe we need to do these types of streams more often. Jill, we just need a break once in a while from craziness. 100%. That's because I'll tell, because we're not going to go into it, but I'll tell you the topic was going to be the whole China-Taiwan thing. But then it's just like, nah. Everybody, I'm sure, I know I have. Everybody's just had enough of it. And then I'm in this good, happy mood, and then Streamlabs screws up and doesn't send the stream out. I'm hoping to be able to stream for a while. It's really, really getting rough on my throat. I just make a lot of videos now, and it's getting rough on my throat. So I can't always keep talking for long periods anymore. I've been saying when I get started doing the VTuber live streams, and that's going to be a whole separate character. If those do well at all, I want now having, having dove down the VTuber rabbit hole. One of my favorite things in the world is Phantom of the Opera. I want my VTuber character to be able to sing Phantom of the Opera with either Iron Mouse or Gawagura. That would be like an all-timer for me. I mean, my singing sucks compared to theirs, but it's just the experience of getting to do it. I have been Big Green. I've been pounding the water. It's just overuse. I mean, it's no big deal. It's not like I wake up in the mornings, I'm fine. But it just takes less and less time during the day for me to just grind the old vocal cords down. But I've been pounding. Ever since you guys had suggested it, as a matter of fact, I've been pounding the water hard. Yeah, life goals. Izzy, that would be fun. Because I love the music from Phantom. And both of those women have such amazing voices. That would be so cool to get to do something like that. I haven't seen the Mario movie yet, but I want to. I definitely want to. Yeah, that would be fun. Mortem says, I was just thinking that it would be really cool if you were in a Family Guy cutaway. I'd love to, yeah. Anything like that. Anything I'm a fan of, I think. I've always said things like RDC World 1, Brandon Rogers. I told Brandon this at one point. Anytime they want an old fat man to be in one of their vids, anybody I'm a fan of, just contact me. I'll go at my own expense just for the experience of being in it. Big Green says Iron Mouse and Gura might not be likely, but a VTuber collab would sure be interesting. Oh yeah, we can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. I'm hoping the VTuber streams go well. They're going to be entirely different from this, obviously, from our streams. That will be a separate character doing a separate thing. Doing a lot of raging playing video games for one thing. But he will be, yeah. Now, did you guys? I think I can show it to you. Did you guys see the early? Especially, I see. Yes, Chrome is in here. Chrome, did you see the early work on the VTuber character? Let me see. That's not an image. Let's see if I can. Let's see if it'll pick this up. Rocket, yeah. No, it won't. It only wants. Okay, so there's got to be something here that'll. One thing's for sure, Streamlabs isn't as convenient as XSplit when you want to add something to the stream. They make it a lot more complicated. All right, let's see. It's on my desktop. There it is. Here it is. That's the yeah, there you go. Way to go, Curtis. Grabbed the entire wrong thing. That's what she said. Okay, so come on, let's go. This is the character that's being worked on. My VTuber character. I like just watching him spin now. It's making me a little bit, give me a little bit of motion sickness. I like that. I think he's coming out really cool. I was impressed. We'll see how the rigging goes. He's still got, some work left to do, but that is the base of the character. Okay. What do you mean? What did he do to that beard? That beard was long on the character I gave him. That was the character I gave him to create was based on the images that Alpha had made up, just based loosely on me, and he's pretty spot on. Yeah, I like him. I think he looks really cool. Little beard braid? Nah, that wouldn't be my look. The technical sides of the beard? Oh, I don't know. I don't know much about the technical aspects of it, Chrome. I don't even know if everything we saw there is a finalized version. I don't know. He just wanted to give me an idea. He wanted to show me basically what he was doing to make sure that there wasn't changes I needed to make or something like that didn't go too far with it. No, I told him to keep the yellow eyes, Joe. I like that. I thought that made him different. Thanks, Obama. I mean, Susan Solaris says. Big Green says, beard braid. He's not a fantasy dwarf. I could be. Yeah, I don't think there is any way, shape, or form I will ever be able to be classified as a dwarf. Big old fat man that I am. Martin says, I once braided my beard. I'm convinced that I'm a modern day Viking. AI VTuber Neurosama? I don't think so. Krusty said needs a glow effect on the eyes, if I'm being honest. Then them just being randomly yellow makes less sense. Oh, see, I like the yellow. I think the yellow is really cool. Chrome says, overall looks fine, though I feel like he'd have been better off sculpting the beard instead of plane modeling. Well, I hope those are planes and not splines. If they are, I'd have an aneurysm. Zombie says, fast daddy is live and my nipples are hard. Yeah, that's great. That's it. And I like that you share that with us. Josh, thoughts on Mysterio going into the WWE Hall of Fame? Well, sir, I always thought that was a given. There are very few people anymore deserving. Christian says, what's your age? Ancient. I am now a robust, not just a bust. 61. Phew. Elja, okay. Says it's a shame you got less views over time. Nah, it's nature of the beast. because we've changed the content over time, and that's just part of it. What's the age of dust? Chrome says. Chrome also says, so they just up what they expect the Mario movie to do. Okay, hold on. Let me take a look at this link, you guys. Let me see. Come on. Could earn $3.5 billion through box office home release. Jesus Christ. God damn. That's cool. That's cool. And have you seen, because everything has to be a of course everything nowadays has to have a political bent to it. Now a lot of the folks who are more PC focused are trying to downplay the movie's success, basically because I guess Nintendo came under some sort of heat from extremists about not being diverse enough, and they basically said, fuck off, these are our characters, we'll do what we want. And I guess that really ruffled feathers of those who believe that the world needs to bend to what they request. Cthulhu says, my goals are beyond understanding. My ideals are pure chaos. Now, I'm eating a ham sandwich. An imaginary ham sandwich can be however tasty you want it to be. Okay, that's cool. Josh, I have no idea what software he's using. No clue. I have a little bit of experience with Blender and with the other one there. I can't think of the name of the software, but anyway, that I made a couple of videos with, but I don't have any idea what he's using. Oh, cool. Alpha's in. Yeah, this is the other thing I wanted to bring up to you guys. He said, testing the new live stream ping bot. When you're available, we'll need you to connect your YouTube account to your Discord account. I sent you instructions in DMs. Make sure they both use the same. I thought I looked at my DMs. Let me see. Because what we're trying to do, guys, is Alpha setting this up for us to where you can, if you want to make sure you get notified of streams and everything, you can go to the Discord and tick a bell there where you'll actually get them every time. Why did I miss that direct message from you? Oh, no, you just put it in. Okay. I was going to say, because I was just in here. Go to your account page and find connections. Connect your YouTube account to it. All right. Hold on a second. Go to your account page. Oh, well, then that'll take some time because they are definitely not using the same email. So I'll have to switch all that. Oh, what the hell? Come on. Find your way through, Curtis. God damn it. Where the hell? Why am I having... Right here, dummy. I'll be right back to the chat, guys. I'm just looking through this, see if I can find it. Wait, what did you say? Come, what the fuck, Discord? Why are you fucking around with me here? Come on. All right, let's try it again. Under connections. Okay. Let me see if I see it. I'll be right back with you guys. Connections. Add connection details to your profile. Share it on Discord. It says I can choose an account to continue. Hold on a second. It says it's connected. It says it's connected, Alpha. It says it is. I don't know if I did everything right or not, but it says it's connected. Austin says Mike versus Tyson Fury versus Floyd versus Ali, who is winning? Well, you can't put Floyd Mayweather into there. He's half their size. They'd kill him. You know, you can't add Floyd into that. But as far as Mike Tyson versus Tyson Fury and Ali, it's impossible to say. Everybody can have their own take on it, but until you put the guys in the ring, I mean, it all depends on how the fight unfolds. Ali versus Tyson would be a great fight based on styles and everything. If Ali can keep him off and keep him at bay with that jab, Ali could definitely outpoint him. That's how Buster Douglas beat him. If Tyson gets inside and lands some of those monster shots, that's how Frazier beat Ali. It all depends. They could probably fight 10 times and quite possibly have it go 5-5. Big Green says the reviews from critics, we're talking about the Super Mario movie, are also pretty bad. The funniest one I saw had the headline, "The Super Mario Bros. Movie has all the charm of an unplugged Game Boy. The Game Boy runs on batteries." Wow, that's rough. El just says Floyd is so short he'll dodge all the punches. Right, but the problem will be Floyd, none of those guys is going to care if Floyd lands a punch. AP says, "Yo, what are we talking about today? Whatever you guys want." This is just hanging out and have fun and staying away from all the shit that is going on in the world right now. Hey, Lude. Jill says Monster Energy wants to sue Nintendo, Pokemon, and Capcom Monster Hunter for copywriting the word monster as when they stole off their brand name. I was like, good luck suing them. You can't entirely copyright a word as common as monster. That's not, that might be the name of their brand, but it's certainly not a standalone trademark. Give me a break. They can trademark that monster logo they got there, that gruesome looking M, but not the word monster. Wolverine says next post, okay. Oh, the reviews are terribly stupid. There was some big critic whining that the film was too complicated for him to understand, and another whining about misogyny. Well, that doesn't surprise me, Chrome, because as I said, there were groups of the habitual whiners complaining that it wasn't diverse enough, and they did not like Nintendo telling them to get bent, that they didn't care. You know, because, again, when you have certain groups start whining about anything, they expect that the world will drop to their knees. Wolverine said, had a beef Wellington at Hell's Kitchen on Friday for my birthday, and an 18-year-old scotch. Was fucking amazing. That's cool. Wow, very cool. I've never had beef Wellington. Ashley says, how would you react if someone like me was wearing a dragon-made Lukoa hat in public? I've worn it in public before, and I received mixed reactions. Wouldn't bother me at all. I love Lukoa. Wear that hat all day long. It doesn't bother me even a little. Yeah, Krusty says, that's a good point. What's not diverse about an Italian character made by Japanese people trying to save a white woman from a green dragon turtle? Yeah, but I heard that going in, that there was some heat because they really weren't bowing to the gods of diversity, and Nintendo refused to do so. Excuse me. Zombie says, when you say drop to their knees, are you implying that John Leguizamo should start blowing Nintendo? Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Chrome says, gonna be honest, I'm usually mad at people pushing woke things in movies, but with the Mario movie, I'm kind of annoyed with both sides. Both woke and anti-woke sides are kind of annoying right now. Oh, there's no doubt. I've told you guys that a million times. I am not a fan of extremists on either side, and that's what society has become. It's all extremists. At least the loudest parts of society are. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate that. Oh, that was a first super chat from Austin. Cthulhu says, diversity only comes when everyone thinks the same thought. Problem is, the people have brains that run a dial up. Right. Cody says a good movie is a good movie. Why be so diverse if it just works? That's always been my take. I don't care what the sexual preference or anything else of a character in a movie is. All I care is the movie good? The only thing I had said the other day, I don't like when companies start inserting characters of a certain desired blend into an existing franchise just for that cheap pop. That irritates me. But as far as, especially in a new creation, you create a movie about anything. If it's a good story, I'll watch it. I don't care what it is. Chrome says, I saw a number of creators claiming the Mario movie is anti-woke. It's not. It's just a fun family film. It doesn't get involved in politics at all. It's fun, which is Nintendo's MO. But I think, Chrome, and I'm not trying to stick up for anybody, I think they're referring to the fact that they're anti-woke because they told the wokesters who wanted them to make it more diverse to get bent. I think. And you're right. That doesn't equal anti-woke. That just equals telling your own story. But I believe that's what they're trying to get at. Austin says, are you going to finish Archer? No idea. No idea. If I do, it may well be on the goosh. I'll have to see how things go as we play out. To be honest, for now, I've really grown irritated with trying to do any series, any shows on YouTube, because it's been just one right after the other that they block or create issues with. So I don't know. I think Archer's got a real good chance of at some point of winning a poll at the Goosh. So we'll have to see. I don't know. Alpha says, come on, Disney, I dare you. Make a movie about a black Tarzan that lives in the jungle and was raised by apes. Show us that sweet diversity of yours. Yeah, that's a good point, Alpha. That's a good point. But that's why I say, I have no problem with diversity. My only issue comes in with the diversity that is strictly for the creation, as I said, of a cheap pop. Here, give me, we'll make this character look entirely different and be entirely different than they always have been in prior stories, hoping that it'll create enough of a buzz that somebody will watch it. I remember that, Big Green. He says, I remember one post-match interview where Mike Tyson was asked what one would need to beat him. His answer, a .357 Magnum. I didn't remember specifically what it was, but I remember him answering a gun, yeah. Cody says, if they want a good movie, Curtis says Thanos is it. Would pay serious money to see it. Old Thanos. Yeah. Listen, if they're willing to make the old Thanos movie, I would actually get into shape. I would hit the gym, stick to the diet and everything just to play old Thanos. If it weren't for the fact that obviously I couldn't make videos for the channel using the name Thanos. If it weren't, I'd make my own old fat Thanos videos. But yeah, Disney ain't gonna let those videos fly. Excuse me. Chrome says, the guy who played Luigi in the bad live-action Mario film from decades ago weighed in with the dumbest take, calling it racist for not having the bros as Hispanic? Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what the world has come to. Everybody, no matter how bizarre somebody's desires may be, they think that the world should just listen to them and again, bow at their feet. RGB says, I hope there will be some more hug me. Yeah. More. Don't hug me. I'm scared. So do I. That was really good. I enjoyed that a lot. That was a lot of fun. Red Wolf says, hey, Curtis, I don't know if you've been asked this yet. How do you feel about McMahon being back in WWE? I'm personally disappointed. So am I. The business had passed McMahon by as far as from a creative standpoint, and I think that became glaringly obvious as soon as Triple H took over creative. So, no, I don't want McMahon involved in creative in any way, shape, or form, and I'm not a McMahon hater. I think the things he's done over the years have made wrestling into the phenomenon it is. But as far as writing and as far as storylines, he'd been proven for years that the business had passed him by. I still haven't gotten Chrome. I still haven't gotten a chance. There's a ton of stuff back here. I still haven't gotten a chance to go through it. I'm hoping to at some point soon. That's why I haven't put up your poll yet, because I haven't entirely given up on finding it, but I haven't yet forayed into trying to get through all that. No, it's true, Power. He says the rumor about WWE being sold to UFC, true, or was that cap? No, it's true. The parent company of UFC, yeah, I guess it's basically all said and done. Unless something really bizarre happens, the deal is going through. The Quasar says, hope Star Wars The Clone Wars wins a poll. That show is so good. You know what? That's an interesting one to me. Star Wars The Clone Wars, I've told you guys before, as far as Star Wars go, when the first 3 came out in the theaters, I was way into it. I really liked the first 3. And then since then, it's just been hit and miss. I've caught a movie here, caught a movie there. So when Star Wars The Clone Wars came out, I didn't really have a lot of interest. But god damn, I've heard so many amazing things about it that I have to admit that I'm interested now. Just because I've heard so many good things about it. Austin says favorite DBZ character is Goku. What about you? DBZ is Fat Boo. DBZA is Krillin. I always like the Krillin own count and everything. But as far as DBZ, it's Fat Boo. I mean, he's a big fat guy who's insanely badass and likes to eat candy. That's me. I don't know about insanely badass, but I'm a big fat guy who likes to eat candy. Money, ice cream, money. I can't even do my Fat Boo impression because my throat is so raggedy. Let me see where we are here. And Jeff says the 03 Clone Wars micro series is good. Everything I've heard about Clone Wars has just been glowing. And like I say, I didn't fall away from Star Wars for any reason. I just, didn't get around to watching a lot of them. So I got to admit, there is an interest there for me just because again, so many people talk about it in glowing terms. Chrome says, yeah, Star Wars, The Clone Wars. I guess we could call that reaction series how Disney waterboarded Curtis over copyright. Yeah. No doubt. Austin Cogswell says, I love Michael Bolton and R. Kelly. What about you? Both are artists who have put out music that I liked, but I wouldn't call myself a specific fan of either of theirs, if that makes any sense. I certainly don't dislike them. Again, they both have had songs over the years that I enjoy, but never enough, that I collected their albums or anything like that. I just listened to the singles they released. Wolverine says The Mandalorian was amazing. Book of Boba Fett was meh at best. Really? So the Book of Boba Fett didn't measure up? Because I remember the hype when Mandalorian came out. Everybody was all over that one. And Kaiser says, it's just occurring to me, Beerus and Jesus end with the same us. Just so happens they have something to do with booze also. I never put that together, Val, but you're right. Coincidence? I don't know. Okay, hey, I want to ask you guys for input too. Now, the finer details. I showed you guys the 3D or the model of what my my VTuber character is going to look like. You guys got any, before I debut him, you guys got any ideas for, how should I put this? His backstory is that he's from an entirely different dimension. And he has been thrown out of that dimension because, well, he was kind of a psychopath. But the like, okay, maybe I get it avenue is he was a psychopath because people that did wrong, he would obliterate, he would eliminate them. So basically, you got a character who is over the top badass, but also kind of sensitive because it was other people getting hurt, whether it be physically or their feelings, that would set him off into fits of rage. And he was sent, they threw him out of the dimension basically, and he got caught up in our world, but only exists within the internet. And so now all he can do on the internet is talk to people through a live stream, and he likes to play games, but they frustrate him and he rages. Any other thoughts, ideas for him? I'm open to it before we get started with him. And any games that you think would be perfect for a character like that to play. J Money says, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Answer, I'm too old for wood. Give me give me any D. Maybe add like can't be killed, so the only way to stop him is to seal him completely into oblivion. That's kind of cool. Name the character Karen. No, he's definitely not a Karen warrior. He just, like I say, he's just over the top with what he thinks should be the penalties for bad people. Oh, thanks, Static. Appreciate it. The anti-cancel culture Punisher sees through their wokeness and obliterates their fake sensitivity, Stormstar says. Chrome says, could make it so he's permanently welded to his chair, tied up by game controllers. That'd be funny. The only thing is, that's another thing. It's interesting you bring that up, Chrome. I got to see is if because as you saw, it's a full body model. If it all works well, if he has it rigged well, I'm going to have to change my setup some when he streams, because as we sit right here, I mean, you're not going to get a full body into this shot. Well, I think that maybe we could. That camera is zoomed somewhat. I don't know. Maybe we could. Hey, Gimster. Yo, 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 yo. He can be the anti-Susan. There you go, Brian. Yes. Well, let's say we need an anti-Susan, but even in her retirement, her departure, still, we can still blame shit on Susan. Depends on what you do during stream. Jay says, well, to start with, we're going to do gaming streams. Now, you will find that his temperament allows him to freak out and rage quit streams, because basically he is the other dimension version of me. And yes, I suck as well and will rage quit at games that piss me off, like that. What was that one the devil character was playing there? What's the name of it again? With the sledgehammer type pickaxe, where you're trying to climb the mountains and over the trees and houses and shit. Ooh, that's a serious rage quit for me. Getting over it. Thank you, Big Green. Yes, things like that. He will rage, and the stream will just abruptly end on games like that. Now, that's not to say he will be trying to play them. It's not going to be a gimmick. It's not going to be like, okay, every one of these he has to rage at the end. He's going to be trying to beat the game. But when the game pisses him off, that's going to be it. Cooking Simulator. Ooh, you know what else would be good too, Mortem? I haven't played this in ages. Is Surgeon Simulator, right? Because that would make him rage quit, I'm pretty sure. Jill says, like I said earlier, make sure you do it at least half body so we can see your six packs in case you want it to be half naked. Well, we can, as I said, as I'm gaming, I can switch the settings on the camera here so there'll be more body in the shot. Jump King? I don't know that one, Krusty. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing, Chrome. Chrome says, also, personal opinion, don't put on a voice. Just use your normal voice to play a character. No, that's exactly what it's going to be. I don't have a choice. My throat is so shit. as I was saying at the top of the stream, I can't do voices. He would be limited to half an hour streams at most if I had to do a voice, because my voice box is just so garbage anymore. So yes, I'm going to be playing a character the entire time. My goal is to do 2, 3, and 4 hour streams in the with the VTuber character. I've been changing a lot of the ways I do things now to try and open up more time, so that I'm hoping to be able to get on for live streaming a lot of days by like noon and continue right through till 3 or 4 or so. Prophet of Woe says, was loving your playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. How do you do a Gusha 100? Been wondering if I would be willing to sponsor a few episodes. That was fun. That was fun. It's just like it sounds, Prophet of Woe. The Gusha 100 is just a $100 level at the Goosh. And at that level, you get to pick. That level always surprised me, because when I set it up, I thought they get to pick one video a month. I thought it would be more like people wanted to see, I don't know, golden videos or sketch comedy type videos or something. I never even thought about actual reactions. And it was Frog, who's been with us with the Goosh since almost day one. He got us watching one of my favorite anime. Now that name's going to go out away from me too. You guys know what it is. About it's the randomly hilarious one about the young girls in school and the professor and Sakamoto the cat. And why is that? Nichijou. Thank you, Chrome. Nichijou is just so funny. But anyway, Chrome said, hey, can I just sponsor an episode of the series? I said, sure, whatever you want. And it caught on. And then some people wanted to sponsor games. So they would just, if we have a game sponsor, it's usually like 30, 40 minutes a game per sponsorship. So that's it. That's all there is to it. Yes, Nichijou is fucking hysterical. And what really got me about that, what really, really clicked it into elite level for me, is how at the end, despite all that random silliness and everything, they had some really good slap your feels around moments, especially with that screw on the fence there and everything. That was really awesome. Ferret Lover, what do you think is the worst thing going on in the world? We're staying away from that for today, Ferret Lover. That's why we're doing this stream, just because it was initially going to be out about some bad things, and we will still do those streams. But I decided everybody needs a break for that. We're just going to talk about fun stuff today. The Quasar says, I am enjoying the Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles Gusha 100. That has become one of my all-time favorite live-action drama series. That is so good. BTG was so spot on with sponsoring that. Wow. That's amazing. I always loved the Terminator movies, and I like Sarah Connor Chronicles substantially more than the movies. Just amazing. Jill says, I only started reading Chainsaw Man manga for a moment. Haven't watched the anime one yet, and so far it's not bad where I'm at. Of course, I only saw the anime. I love the anime. That was really good. I love the way they set up the characters in that too. Power, I think I said it in the reactions. Within the first couple minutes we meet Power, I knew I was going to like her, no matter where her character went and how fucked up she might be. I knew I was still going to like her. She's a great character. They're all great characters in there. We are actually, Chrome. She says, I think we're actually nearing the end for a few G100 series later this year. I know we'll be finished with Cardcaptor Sakura before year's end. Yeah, I'd have to go, my memory, I'd have to go back through, but I was noticing the same thing. Well, today, Posted School Live, we'll be done with that in a few weeks. We got a bunch of them that are getting close to the end. I can't wait to see how School Live ends. Today was funny. The one I posted today, this episode was mostly just, fun and games. The girls cleaning out the water tank and turning it into a swimming pool and just trying to forget about exactly what's going on. And then the end of that, holy shit. What a kick to the nuts the end of that was. Because here I was just concerned about what's on the lower levels that they didn't know about. You know, that now they know there's those 2 lower levels to the school. So I'm like, oh, come on, I'm thinking to myself, give us a little teaser, give me a little something to know what's going on in the lower levels. And instead we see Megumi all fucking zombied up. And no, I was just going to say, was that lower levels? But the dog, I can't remember the dog's name. Now you guys got me thinking about that again. The dog didn't go down to lower levels, though, when he saw her, did he? I don't think he did. Let's see. Potty Pie says, you're the only 50 years old who watches anime. Worse than that. I'm the only 61-year-old that watches it. Yeah, you're right. I personally don't know anybody of my age who watches anime. Now, we have some members over at the Goosh who have told me they're my age. It's only a couple of them, but are my age or close to it that watch anime. But, you know, in day-to-day, face-to-face interactions, I don't know anyone. That's why, you know, it's funny. It's tough because I've told you guys before, you guys know my wife and I, our senses of humor are entirely different. And the things I enjoy are, well, you guys know the comedy I enjoy, and I like pop culture, and I like these types of conversations that we're having and stuff. So it's tough for my wife. Like, we know people here that are a little older than us, and my wife hangs out with them a lot, which is fine. They're very nice people. But then she'll want to go out, you know, and, well, let's all go out to dinner, this, that, or the other. And it's like, I have nothing in common. And older people just, and I'm trying to be delicate about this because I'm not trying to shit on anybody, but they just want to talk about the most boring, mundane things or complain about the younger generations and oh yeah, and there's in the older generations, there's still so much racism. I mean, I just, yeah, it's tough. Stormstar says, I'll be 70 and still enjoy animated stuff of all varieties. I've told you guys many times, being an old fart, one of the top pieces of advice I can give anybody as you get older is don't stop enjoying the things that you enjoy. Doesn't make a rat's ass bit of difference what anybody else has to say about it or what anybody else thinks about it. Just enjoy what you enjoy. There's no reason. Now, sometimes as you get older, and not necessarily from child to adult, could even be after you're an adult, sometimes you just go away from something. It's like, it's not as much fun as it used to be. And that's fine if it's your own decision. But never let society or other people tell you what you can and can't enjoy. Jesus Christ. Jay says, literal boomers. See, I'm a boomer. Yeah, I know what you mean, but boomer in the meme sense. And I say that as well. I don't mean to sound like I'm shitting on anybody. It's just the facts. It's mind-numbingly boring to me. You guys know the type of things I enjoy talking about because we're doing it right now. And certainly you're not going to get any anime conversation. And even the ones, because I'm a big sports nut, even when we get to talk sports with older people, so many times it turns to, well, the athletes of today, they do this and they're spoiled and they're shit. And no, they're not. Jesus Christ, they're phenomenal athletes just like they were back in our day too. You don't need to shit on anybody because of generational differences. Stormstar says, just to be clear, I'm not 70. I'll be executed decades before I reach that for not complying to the woke society we're heading towards. I don't think we're heading towards that, to be honest with you, though, Stormstar. I'm seeing more, at least in America, I can't speak for other countries, starting to see a lot of pushback against that. Big Green says, yes, in the meme sense, the negative year two relying on technology sense. One of my all-time favorite jokes. That's a classic. That will never not be funny. Chrome says, also, I know it's a bit preemptive, but I'm kind of glad Goblin Slayer is beating South Park. I like South Park, but it would take over a year. Yeah, I know what you mean. As I've told you guys, when we have a poll, I am more than happy to go with whatever you guys want. But that's why I was careful to point out that we have 2 long shows going at that other $5 level. You know, we're just starting to wind towards the end of Gintama, and boy, is that ever good right now. And then followed right by Fairy Tail. So, excuse me, I'm sorry, guys. Prophet of Woe says, think you would love Girls und Panzer, Girls in Tanks. I have heard that name before. Well, Chrome, who? Isn't it terrible how I have to turn to, you guys have to be my memory for me. Well, you've been doing it for years. You've been carrying that load. Who, Kaiser, did you mention that one to me? One of our regulars mentioned that to me. I can't remember who. Was it you, Kaiser? Girls und Panzer? Because I don't know much about it, but I know it's been mentioned. I don't remember. Was it Chrome, Big Green, Kaiser? Oh, maybe it was Phil. Okay, Chrome says Phil loves that show. Okay, maybe it was Phil. I knew it was one of our regulars because I knew it had been mentioned. Like I said, I don't know much about it, pal, but it has been mentioned to me before. I'll bet you it was Philip. It wasn't Kaiser said no. It was Philip because Chrome says he loves that show. I knew it was one of our regulars that said something to me about it. Lude says, as soon as the generation is different, it's immediately worse than the previous one. Correct. Human nature to see different as bad still hasn't changed. Probably won't. No. But hey, we still like boobies, so silver lining, right? Yeah, this is, you're 100% right, Lude. Because having lived as long as I have, you know, I've seen through the generations, and every generation has said the same shit about the younger generation. Now, does it take different forms? Yes. Because now when they complain about the younger generation, it's because they're too reliant on technology and they don't want to do anything else. There's some validity to that, just like there was in my day when there was some validity to the disparagement of hippies because all they want to do is get high and live in their mom's basement. Some of that was true too, but it's never true to an entirety of a generation. Every single generation, as they come up, has exceptional people in it. So but you're right. It happens every generation it goes on. Austin says, what was your favorite Frank Sinatra song? Mine is My Way and Fly Me to the Moon. I like Frank Sinatra, but I didn't always like his versions of certain songs. Now, I like his My Way. Fly Me to the Moon was really good. But I liked Elvis's My Way better. So, you know, there's plenty of room to like both. But that's what I immediately think. If you talk about Sinatra and My Way, I liked Sinatra. I liked Elvis's better. If I'm not mistaken, Sinatra also did a rendition of Summer Wind that was really good, but Nat King Cole's was better. So I don't know. Kaiser says, so I found a site that sells cheap secondhand anime goods called Solaris Japan. Got Go Gaigar. I can never say that right the first time. Go Gaigar's first soundtrack and season 1 and 2 of Rosen Maiden for less than 15. Wow. Wow, nice. It's cool. And I love finding deals. Nothing better than getting a good deal on something you want. Ferret Lover says, your first video game was Pong. 100%. It absolutely was. Ferret, you're not kidding. I love Pong. See, since I was a kid, I always loved technology. And as I'd always said, as a kid, to me, technology was the toaster. You know, you would sit there and go, oh my God, 2 minutes ago, this was bread. You know, but I like technology. So when Pong came out, I thought that was the shit. Bing, 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 bing. And then you got to play it at home. Then I was like, no way. Oh, I played Pong to death. HD says, say, Curtis, have you ever visited the City of Luck in Broken Dreams, a.k.a. Vegas? I have not been there in decades, pal. When I lived in California, I used to go over there, and then I wasn't old enough to gamble yet, but I used to go over there quite a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say at the end I was. But I haven't been there since then. I was probably about 21 last time I was there. My wife and I, back in 2001, we were all set to go on a trip. She was going for her company that she worked for at the time. There was a convention out there, and her boss wanted someone to represent them at the convention. and 9/11 happened, and because it was in September of 2001, the convention. So of course that took care of that because nobody was flying anywhere, and so my one opportunity to have gone back didn't happen. Taco Dude says, I'm looking at pictures of people being photobombed by ghosts in the background. You guys know me, I'm not a believer in ghosts, but I always like to take a look at anything like that, though. And Chrome says, and of course, anything is better than Rurouni Kenshin. We'll never let people live down the author. I mean, the main romance in the series is between a 30-year-old man and a little girl. You know, I think back, we're, talking about that and talking about school and stuff. Another thing older people my generation, like to talk about is the good old days and how, you didn't have people creeping on kids and stuff like that. Incorrect. The problem was back then, nobody talked about it. The kids were just told, all right, well, don't worry about it type thing. I remember, and I think I've told you guys this, in hindsight, it is stunningly amazing how creepy this one history teacher I had was. I believe it was 7th grade, maybe 8th. And when you're a kid and unfortunately you aren't made aware of the villainy that exists in the world, you don't realize that the things he's saying to other kids and the things he's doing in class are creepy. But in hindsight, or even in current sight, if my kid or my grandkid were in that class and that teacher conducted himself that way, I'd be doing a little jail time. Chrome says, the good old days. It's always been an issue, sadly. Did you see the thing with the Dalai Lama and the kid? I did, and that was fucking disgusting. What the hell? Suck on my tongue? What? See, I have no patience for that. I don't care what your status is. And he come out and apologize. That's not an accident. That's not a mistake. To me, somebody should have said, okay, Lama, I got to punch you in the fucking head now. Jesus Christ. It was playful. No, it wasn't playful, dude. It was fucked up. You got serious issues. Brian says, don't know if you remember the TV movie, I Know My First Name is Steven. Kid got abducted and molested for years. His brother ended up being a serial killer later on. Creeps are nothing new. I don't remember that, but yes, you're right. There were all kind of creeps. It just wasn't talked about. And guys, make no mistake, women were treated like shit a lot of times. It was just, and even then, I will say this, even I realized that. Because I would see the way, even my own father, he envisioned himself as he was the boss, and my mom was here and came in second to everything, and that was just commonly accepted, and that used to piss me off. And especially my father, because my father was somebody who wouldn't hold a job, I should say. He went through jobs like, oh man, like water, and there was always an excuse. Oh, this doesn't work out, or I don't know about this, or they're treating me bad like that, so he would quit again. So he wasn't doing the things he needed to do to take care of his family properly, but no woman of his was ever going to go out and get a job. So yeah, there was a lot of that shit. And there were good things back in the day too. Well, you can talk about school shootings, things of that nature. Back in the day, the school I went to was very rural, and as I told you guys, every pickup truck in the parking lot had guns in the rack. You'd have guns right in the school. People just showing them, hey, I got this, for hunting, blah, blah, blah. Want to show everybody, and the teachers. And nobody ever shot up schools. And not because there wasn't bullying. The bullying was rampant. It's just that nobody was moved to the point of wanting to kill others over it. But back then, we also weren't medicated. Kids weren't medicated every time that they didn't sit through an entire class without fidgeting. Jay Money says his apology wasn't even an apology of what actually happened. He claimed he wanted to hug. Does a hug to come kiss me with tongue? I was appalled by that. And the thing of it is, because of his status, it'll just be, well, it is what it is. Yeah, that silly old man. He doesn't know he's detached from reality. Well, if he's that detached, get him the fuck out of public. Don't let him around kids. Jesus Christ. Chrome says, like, that genuinely shocked me. How the hell does that happen? I'm used to Biden pulling stunts, but even that creep would not pull that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Biden makes me uneasy sometimes with the way he conducts himself around kids too. That's seriously creepy. But yes, that's well beyond him or anything. I mean, that is just, to me, next level egregious. There's no excuse for it. None. I don't see how you become an adult and you can make any excuse that, oh, well, he didn't know. He doesn't understand. Fuck you. Ashley says, I never trusted the Dalai Lama much anyway. I know I don't now. I don't know much about him, to be honest. But I know that was one of the most messed up things I've seen. Stormstar says, I felt physically ill when I saw that. I agree 100%. That's the big thing with me. I mean, the least we can do as a society is, as I've always said with the way Braxton was raised, the time you get to actually be a kid is so fleeting. We don't need adults coming in to harm that in any way or to rush that along in any way. Let kids be kids. But everything has to be an issue now. Did you guys see the whole thing with the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship? And the one girl gave the "You Can't See Me" to, I've forgotten her name, but the star, oh shit. Oh, what's her name? You guys will know the names. But the biggest star in women's college basketball, I can't think of her name. But she gave her the "You Can't See Me." Yeah, it was Angel Reese did the "You Can't See Me." What's the other girl's name, Mr. Croissant? Names go out of my head constantly. And the backlash that caught, that she was, I mean, people were really coming at her. That was it was said a ghetto thing to do, and she's got no class. And it's like, are you fucking kidding? The "You Can't See Me"? Listen, those girls were just competing. I mean, competing hard against each other. I'm sure a lot of nasty shit was said to one another. And so in response to that, she goes, "You can't see me?" And that's a big deal? You're looking for reasons to make a big deal out of something. Who gives a fuck? She had every right to do it. They won. And I'm sure there was a lot of shit talk that whole time. And she threw a "You Can't See Me." Now that's a terrible sportsmanship. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. Chrome says, wait, how can people come after her? Don't people have to watch the sport in the first place to know what happened? I actually like women's basketball in college, Chrome. I got to say, only because I love college sports. There's just so much more. There's so much pride in it because you're playing for your school and everything. And the student sections are always so hype and everything. So I enjoy that. I enjoy college sports more than pros a lot of times, especially college football. And I had no interest in the WNBA, but I watched the women's NCAA championships. But that was absolute bullshit coming after that girl over that. Who gives a fuck? She threw a "You Can't See Me" at her. I thought it was kind of funny, actually. Krusty says, people are so soft and privileged these days that they actively build entire narratives around a simple gesture to complain about. You're right. You're 100% right. I mean, do they not know what's said every Sunday in the NFL? Do they not know the conversations that take place in the trenches and stuff? Jeez. or even in the NBA. We hear more and more stories now about the trash talking Larry Bird used to do. Oh, all of them used to do. Larry Bird was a great trash talker. Michael Jordan would talk shit to you. So would Kobe Bryant. It's part of sports. "You Can't See Me" is fucking offensive. Austin says, I love Goldberg. What about you? Think he's one of the best workers out there? A lot of people give him shit. He's a part-timer. He's this, he's that. Yeah. Well, that part-timer doesn't know how to put on a bad match anymore. He just, he will sacrifice his body. He'll do anything he needs to do to put somebody else over, and he doesn't get enough credit for that. Goldberg is the shit. I like him. Jetflyer says, I have a Spotify playlist of a bunch of popular songs in order from the 50s to the 80s. If you want to take a look. Also thoughts on Mario movie. I'm hoping to see it in the theaters. I'm definitely going to see it. I'm hoping to see it in the theaters. I do have a Spotify account, but I actually opened it years ago for Brax. He was, might have been in middle school even. And I just maintain it for him. And he uses, I don't even know what the login is on it or anything. Because again, I opened it for him. And it's just stayed open. My mix is on YouTube Music. That's what I use for it. Jay says that's called toxic game or something now. I think I can't trash talk anymore. I lost an account over it. Isn't that terrible? I mean, sure, there can be limits to something. You can't threaten to go to somebody's house and, stab them or some shit. But who cares if you're talking shit during a game? It was part of the fun of it. People are so sensitive. Well, it's sensitivity. The gang here had to explain to me why I get so frustrated with you guys getting your comments censored. Because as I've explained, they give us the option as a YouTuber. You can tell them if you want certain words banned, this, that, or the other. My channel is all anything goes. I want to hear what people have to say, and stuff gets censored all the time. And then I find out, even in super chats, it gets censored because I guess some streamers on YouTube were getting their fifis hurt because people were being being mean to them in super chats. Who gives a fuck? Listen, if you're that sensitive, don't do this. You're going to put yourself out there intentionally in the public eye, and then you're going to get your little feelings hurt because somebody said something mean to you, and they paid you to say it to you. I would have just laughed and said, I might, whatever you called me, I might be that, but I got $2 of your money, so I win. I mean, there's easy responses. But who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck anyway. As I've always said, I think I must be different with that. Because if you call me something that's accurate, you can't hurt my feelings with it anyway. If you call me a fat fuck, well, I am fat. Why would I get offended about that? Call me old? Well, I am old. Call me bald? None of that's going to offend me. I am that. Now, if you want to call me something that I'm not, I might defend myself. But I certainly, I don't know. Maybe it's me, you guys. Maybe I'm too lackadaisical about these things, but who gives a shit? I don't care. And you guys have seen, if somebody wants to engage with me, I'll go around with you. I'm really good at that, at the put down game. Sonali says, I'm fine with banning racist and sexist comments. Well, around here, yeah, you get banned for going over the top, yeah. And particularly, I'm the one who's putting myself out there. So if you want to come at me, that's one thing. If you start going after other commenters, you get banned a lot easier. Because other people in the stream are here just to enjoy the stream. I'm the one that's putting myself out in public. So if you can't contain your vitriol to just being directed at me, then you're going to get bounced. Nacho says there was even a bit of Twitter outrage over profiles with fast food hats. It claims it's racist because minorities work minimum wage job like nobody else does. Yeah, I worked for a bunch of fast food joints when I was starting out. But again, that's Nacho. That's what we're talking about. Some people are genuinely, and it's sad, but there are a lot of people out there who genuinely look for reasons to be upset. I don't understand it. Chrome says, if we couldn't tell offensive jokes, I wouldn't have won our Make You Laugh show back. That's for sure. Like I say, I think dark humor is hysterical. It just people need to lighten up, and people need to stop trying, and it's never going to happen, but people need to stop trying to score some social points within their own little bubble, within their own little echo chamber by finding something to be offended about. And that works on both sides. I mean, certainly one side more often than the other, but extremes on the rights do the same thing too. They're looking for any reason. It was extremists on the right who were calling out, and again, her name's got in my head, that girl for the whole "you can't see me" thing. And at first I laughed, and then I got angry because I saw that they were genuine about it. And they were actually calling this poor girl names over it. The fuck? Again, it was in the heat of a game, in the heat of battle. And even if it wasn't, who cares? Jesus Christ. Yeah, that kills me too, Sonalise. I found this thing you said 15 years ago. We're going to cancel you now. Thanks, yeah. And again, it's all for points. If you can find something somebody in the public eye said or did 10 years ago and get it out there, oh, you're gonna get some of those sweet likes on your tweet. And that there's a lot of people that get validated by that, by getting some positive reinforcement from those in their echo chamber. And the thing is, they don't even care if the people giving them that positive reinforcement are entirely anonymous and people that they've never interacted with before. It's just any type of positive feedback. That's what some people live on. That's kind of sad. I mean, anybody, don't get me wrong, anybody likes to get positive reinforcement. But when it's a driving factor in who you are, that's a problem. Big Green says, so to get back to happier topics, I recently got back to watching RDC World 1 again. Those guys are awesome. The video they made on DBZ Tenkaichi 4 was hilarious, picking out characters only super fans would remember. Those guys are just brilliant. You guys know how I feel about them. I've said it over and over. They are, to me, the absolute epitome of what makes YouTube awesome. You get a bunch of guys just out with a video camera and a bunch of funny ideas, and that's it. And that's the beauty of YouTube right there. Sonali says, by the way, I started watching thanks to your VTuber reactions. Good vibes with your videos. Been enjoying them. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm enjoying the VTubers a lot. I am stunned by how talented they are. I really am. And then again, Mouse's story really got to me. Iron Mouse's story. That really, again, you guys know our history and how we have dealt with people with special needs in life our whole lives, and Iron Mouse's story was really hard hitting for me. Nacho says sensitivity readers are a job based around fabricated outrage, because to justify their job, they have to keep finding things to be offended by, which is why mainstream media is ass now. Oh yeah, mainstream media is garbage. Absolute garbage. And as I've told you guys before, that's nothing I take pride in saying, because that was where my education was. It was in journalism. And I take no pleasure in seeing mainstream media in the shit show that it is. And don't let any of them tell you they're not. Because how they'll try and defend themselves is, well, you go through and you look at anything we have printed or said that is false in any way. That's not the issue. The issue is when you write a news article and you don't tell all sides to the story, and they all do that. No matter which side they're coming from, all the mainstream media outlets are slanted now, and that makes them pure garbage as far as I'm concerned. Chrome says, so going back to game adaptations, what do you think will be the next big game-based film? Tomb Raider and God of War are in the works, and a rumored Zelda film with Henry Cavill from Illuminations. I have no idea, Chrome. I'm not good at judging that stuff. I told you when Super Mario first came out as a concept, I thought, it's going to be stupid. So I don't know shit. I'm not a good one to try and pick. And Austin says, your thoughts on The Simpsons. Love them. I've told the gang before, I'm one of the few people around anymore, it seems, that saw the very first Simpsons episode when it aired on the Tracy Ullman show. And I was only watching the Tracy Ullman show because I just love anything comedy, and her comedy wasn't really good. But it said comedy. You had limited stations to choose from. So I was watching Tracy Ullman, and she showed that cartoon, and I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, this is it right here. So I've been a fan since day one. Jetfire says next post, okay. I got to catch up on the latest season of South Park, Jamie's books. I've been doing a really poor job of keeping up on it. I got to see more of it. Austin says, I love 2.5 Men. What about you? And do you miss Charlie Sheen? I never got into that one. Nothing against it. It was just never anything I started watching. From what I've heard, it was really funny in its day. Hancock 3 says, only you know how to prevent a bad day. I have not watched Boruto, TRG. Again, what I watch is determined by our crew over at the Goosh at our Patreon, because we have a poll going right now. We vote on the shows that come in, and Boruto actually got a little bit of support in this nominations and poll for the first time, but it's still well down the list. Excuse me. Hold on. I was watching for today's. I don't want to miss it. I was waiting for Jetflyer's post. Of course, it could also, as we were just talking about, it could also be being censored. Chrome says, since you're a huge Disney nut, how often have you seen this in the parks? Oh, God. Let me hit Chrome's link. Oh, no. Now what happened? Oh, I did see this video. Yeah, that was extremely inappropriate. And no, I'd never seen that happen. And the characters that play, or the cast members, the actors that play Gaston are some of the most talented ones out of there. If you go to Disney World and you can do a character meet, the three I would recommend to you the most are seeing Gaston, because everyone that plays him is hysterical. Or the Evil Stepsisters. They're a freaking riot. One of my favorite things to do at Disney World is interact with the Evil Stepsisters. It makes me think of just what I've said about the VTubers. They are so good at being funny off the cuff. Oh, so good. Jamie says it's a bit of return to the old feeling of South Park. Think you might like the Harry and Meghan parody episode. Also, the specials are killing it. Yeah, I plan on catching up on it, Jamie. That's another one, though, because my wife can't stand that show either. So it's something I usually only watch if she's not around, so she doesn't have to sit through it. So I got to find time to get caught up, because South Park's another one I've been watching forever. Here's Jetfire. He says, it's okay to have an opinion on trash talking / dark humor. Make that opinion known, but making such a big deal over it. And yeah, it's true. Again, true with anything. And they went after her, I believe, just way over the top. Way too much. I don't know what the impetus was behind it, but again, you can't see me. Ooh, scary. That was so mean. Jesus Christ, you see that all the time in sports. Especially when Cena was, big. Happened all the time. You see guys doing that in football and everything all the time. Yeah, Stormstar. Yeah, we want privacy, Harry and Meghan. Please give us our privacy. Can we be on your talk show? Please? Chrome says, well, to be fair, that was more a joke vote for Boruto since the original anime just finished. The final episode has Boruto die and come back. Boruto Shippuden is later this year. You think it was a joke? It surprised me, because it's never had any real support. Well, you know that, over at the Goose. Jetfire finishes with, especially in today's day and age where being offended is more and more subjective and relative, instead of simply staying away from it is an unhealthy way of dealing with it. Yeah, but that's what it comes down to, Flyer. It's just what I was saying. Everybody is looking to score some points in their own little individual echo chambers. That's the long and short of it. I want to see something. Hold on a second, guys. Now, you guys see let's forget about all the garbage going on in the world. This is supposed to be the most upbeat type of stream you can find. I want to see some. I'm looking at my stats on this. Uh, oh, it's still monetization. Let's see if they. Oh no, the monetization is still on. I will almost guarantee you. I've been wait. I thought they might do it during the stream. I wanted to see if they demonetize this one because they have a habit. YouTube does of demonetizing our streams. And of course, I will appeal them, and then they go, "Good news! Your stream has been remonetized." It's like, shut the fuck up! Don't hit me with good news. You're a fucking moron for having demonetized it to begin with. Oh, you did get an ad? Okay, thanks, Wolverine. Well, that tells me. That tells me then. Okay, good, good. Thank you. I was just curious. I still say, I'll bet you when it's over, it gets demonetized. The last several have. Not just a, see, I never mind. I have to admit, even not being a YouTuber, even when I wasn't heavy into streaming at times, I never minded the ads only because I maybe, well, I shouldn't say that. Not just because being a YouTuber, you would take this position or take this perspective, but I figure somebody put time and effort into making those videos, and if me sitting through an ad helps support them, it never bothered me. Austin says favorite movie is The Dark Knight. What about you? I don't know if I have a singular favorite movie. Always loved Field of Dreams. A lot of sports related movies. Of course, Rudy being a Notre Dame fanatic. But then there's a lot of others that have nothing to do with sports. I don't think I have an individual favorite. HD says, remember when I asked about Azure Lane? It has dog girls, cat girls, girls with massive boobs, like that, maids, shut-in girls, tsunderes, and so much more. It has everything your dirty mind might desire. Hey, I want to try something too, guys. Every time we stream, I keep a shot of the stream here in front of me so I can tell if it's lagging or anything. However, mine always is way behind. I mean, sometimes minutes behind. And I think that's a failing on YouTube's part for what I'm seeing. So in just a moment, when I say go, would you guys all, now wait for me to say it. When I say go, would you guys all just type the letter S into chat? I want to see how long the delay is, see what you guys are seeing. Okay, letter S. Ready, set, go. Now let me see how long it takes. Okay. Oh, shit. Yeah, so you guys, I changed the latency. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I changed the latency to try and give you guys less of a delay, and it is. And I've got more of a delay. It was like 3 seconds. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. So I just like to make sure that you guys are not being delayed too far behind the conversation and makes the stream tougher for you, but thank you. Yeah, you guys, it was 3 seconds till I saw the first S. Now, I'm looking in my YouTube studio where I can monitor everything. I can see what I'm talking about there. I haven't even gotten to the point yet in my feed where I ask you guys to do that for me. That's how far behind it is. Yeah, so it's good. Chrome says, to be fair, it took everyone else like a few seconds after you said it for me. Yeah, but even that, Chrome, that's acceptable. If everybody was as far behind as my studio was showing, that would be a problem because it's way behind again. But no, you guys are fine. Yeah, it's terrible, Chrome. I should probably just get rid of that. And if I want to monitor it, I think if I open a separate window and just mute it so you guys don't get feedback and let it run that way, I can probably see what the delay is. But I only care about that for you guys' benefit anyway, not mine. So as long as you guys aren't on that huge delay, I don't care. Austin, I love the Beatles and the Bee Gees. What about you? Bee Gees were cool. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of disco. Beatles are amazing. Orangutan says, I work 10 hours in metal fabrication plant with a bunch of hick rednecks. Your streams help me through. Well, I'm glad you're with us. I used to work in a factory, metal fabrication part of the time. It was a bus manufacturing plant. I spent most of my time there. I was there for almost 4 years. in the tubing section, bending copper pipe. But I worked in fabrication a little bit too. Yeah, so I can sympathize. And it wasn't really redneck stuff. It was in New Mexico, so there were plenty of hillbillies. But actually, that at that time, I don't know if it still is in Roswell, New Mexico, the population was, I think, whites were slightly in the minority. Mexicans were dominant. So I worked with a lot of Mexican guys, and they were not rednecks. They were actually pretty cool. I used to enjoy working with them. But yes, but the work itself was a absolute grind. Chrome says, I'm trying to remember the ones my niece saw last time. I think there was Minnie Pluto, Elsa and Anna. I think there was another as well. Characters? Yeah, I love the character interactions down at Disney. They're so much fun. I enjoy, more than anything else, I enjoy watching my kids and grandkids interact with them. And my wife, I just noticed something, guys. Here, that tells you right there. Oh no, that's off anyway. Because Streamlabs has us at an hour and 27, almost 28 minutes, and I only have us as an hour 21 live. But that's because Streamlabs screwed up at the beginning of the stream. I clicked on Streamlabs to make it go live. It said we were, and we weren't. Krusty says, "Okay, serious question. What's the difference between rednecks and hillbillies?" Not much, really. I don't know if you could really make a distinction. I don't think you can be a hillbilly and not be a redneck. Hillbilly just speaks more to location. Sounds just like what it sounds. They were all folks from the hills. In other words, out in the sticks, living off the land type folks. And typically, if you did that, just by nature of how you live your life, you're going to be a redneck. I would say that most or all hillbillies are rednecks, but all rednecks are not necessarily hillbillies, if that makes any sense. Chrome says, at least Pokemon beat Boruto in the thread. We need to get that series on the goose sooner than later. I'll sponsor episode 1 of the new series when it's out officially. Yeah, like I say, Chrome, I've been impressed, though, that it's done as well as it has. You know, it makes it through immediately, right from the first time we really saw it in the nominations thread. It made it through, so. Stormstar says a banjo. Good point. He's talking about what's the difference between a hillbilly and a redneck, a banjo. Yeah, the hillbillies are playing the banjo. The redneck may not know how to. That's good. That's still, that whole thing in Deliverance, man. That is some of the creepiest shit in the history of movies. Always will be. Bada bing, 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 bing. Rednecks or hillbillies with guns? Kind of, Jamie, but all the hillbillies always had guns, too. Yeah, that's why I say they're very, very closely related. You guys know what I mean, right? By closely related? Okay. Nacho says, an artist is making some really good Dragon Ball animations out of a lame doppelganger TikTok that's going around. Oh, really? Well, that's cool. Krusty's got to go. Well, thanks for being in, pal. You were fun. Jill says, so Artemis 2 has finally a woman and a black man astronauts. What's your thoughts about that, Chris? I don't know much about it, Jill. I don't really, I don't know anything about it to comment. Cthulhu says, the funny thing is that most hillbillies are super nice people, but they won't hesitate to hurt your feelings if you disrespect them. That's true, at least, and I used to be around hillbillies a lot where I lived. You're right. They typically were they were taught manners. You know, manners are very important. They're very yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir type thing. Yeah, so that's not untrue at all. Chrome says, I think given the option for both the entire Pokemon series and just the first series was a good idea on my part. It really helped push it. Yeah, I thought it did quite well. Gimster says, I'm a Canadian redneck. You just might hear banjos if you come my way. Well, you've described to me before, Gimster, what your area is like. And yeah, Gimster's out in the sticks. Out in the very, very snowy sticks. Austin says, your thoughts on Roman Reigns and beating Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Wasn't a big deal for me, but I don't dislike Cody Rhodes. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to even give anybody that impression. He's just not one of my favorites. So I wasn't as invested in it as a lot of people were. If they really put Roman over just to get him to his 1,000 days with a title, I think that's kind of lame, but not nearly one of the most egregious booking things I've seen recently. Excuse me. Chrome says, so I know you'll probably say later, but any idea what your plans will be for Goblin Slayer? You do it in Bochi together since it's only like 12 hours? Possibly. I never make guarantees on anything till the poll has gone all the way through. As soon as it's all the way through and I have final numbers, I'll definitely make a call on what we'll go with. Rednecks and hillbillies from South Park are hilarious, Jill says. I agree. I agree. HD says, what was your most intense wrestling experience? Oh, there's a lot you can choose from. The stupid idea to use a manure shovel. The time I took the stainless steel sink to the head. Some of the ribs that I perpetrated, I consider myself to have been pretty good at those. There's lots of stuff to choose from. They took our jobs. Yeah, Jamie. that's classic. They took our jobs. Oh, Big Green says, so out of curiosity, I checked out the most watched female Twitch YouTube gaming streamers. 6 of them are Holo Live members. Wow. Wow. That's pretty cool. Do any of them play the harmonica, Zuchen says. Oh, I'm sure. and the jug. Jetfire says, the wrestling you did, was it fake and scripted or was it real? Well, all pro wrestling is scripted. I mean, there's not another option. It's wrestling. Pro wrestling is the blend of athleticism and entertainment. Grimster says, yeah, we got black bears, grizzly bears, wolves, wolverines, and mountain lions. You might just go missing and never found. It's tough being a Canadian redneck at times. I can imagine. The thing that used to get me, I think I've told you guys this, when I lived in New Mexico and I was working in that bus manufacturing plant. Again, when you worked in the tubing department, I was bending tubes, or a lot of times you were, to bend the larger outside diameter tubes, you have to heat them first, because otherwise they'll just break. So I was working with a torch a lot, and one time I was working with the tubing, and you just have your torch. You were using it constantly, so you leave it on in its holder. And we got one of those gully washer rainstorms that we get down there. And when it happened, it washes a lot of the wildlife out of the gullies. So a lot of that, some of that wildlife are, what's the name of the spiders, guys? They're huge in the Southwest. They're very poisonous. Help me again. Just completely going out of my black furry spiders, big ones. I'm waiting for you guys to tell me because I got one of my blocks against it. Oh my gosh. I'm not continuing with the storytelling thing. Tarantulas, thank you. Tarantulas. This big ass tarantula comes walking. It was warm, so the overhead door was open that was next to me. This big ass tarantula got washed out of the gully. He comes walking right in. And I mean, those are some big fuckers. And he comes walking towards me. So I was like, yeah, this ain't happening. I took my torch, hit him with it. And holy shit, is that fur on the back of a tarantula, or that hair, whatever it is that ever flammable? It was just like, it was like a detonation more than an ignition. Holy shit, did he blow up? Oh, yeah, it was extremely flammable, Chrome. I didn't know that. It was funny. The other thing that used to be funny, too, is on those warm nights, again, you would just leave the torch in its holder so the flame would be pointing down, but it'd be on. Moths would come in, and of course, moths are attracted to light. Well, apparently they can't determine the difference between a light bulb and a live flame, and they would be just like you would see in the old World War II movies when a fighter jet gets taken out of the air. They'd go right through the flame and go, and they would on fire. They would spin to their death. Chrome says, come on, it has to be the sink. The sink nearly killed you. Or wait, was it the shovel? Wasn't there a tack incident as well? The shovel was way stiff. The sink actually, what hurt the most about that, Chrome, was the sound. I mean, it hurt, but it was so fucking loud. That stainless steel sink, when it crashed on my head, it really hurt my ears. The manure shovel knocked me out. That was a night time. I mean, again, it was wrestling. You come back around and you finish. But yeah, I don't remember anything of that night. I have that picture I've showed you guys of where the shovel's about to make contact, and then I don't remember anything. Everything I know about the rest of that night was told to me by the boys. I don't remember any of it. And thumbtacks, not anything in specific. The thing that always struck me, the reason I brought up thumbtacks is I hated them. And I don't know why. They don't hurt that bad. I mean, it's just what you expect it would be. You get backdrop onto a mat full of thumbtacks. It's like getting 100 little pinches all at once. Does it hurt? Yeah. Does it hurt as much as a sink or a manure shovel to the head? No. So I don't know why. It had to be just a mental thing, why I hated doing the tacks. Hell, I'd gone through tables that were on fire and got caught on fire by one of them. Fire hurts way more than the tacks, but the tacks are what freaked me out. Excuse me. Big Green says, don't give arachnophobes ideas, Curtis. They're going to burn their own house down just because of a tiny spider. That would be my wife, Big Green. She is beyond terrified of spiders. I told you, on our bucket list, she had always had Australia as one of the places she would like to visit someday. It's gone. I showed her some pictures of those, whatever they call them, those monster spiders there. And then I showed her a picture of some of the fields in Australia that look like they got a foot of snow, but it's actually just all spider webs. She won't go. And I mean, literally, you could gift her a trip to Australia and she will not go now. She is terrified of them. Orangutan says, Curtis, did you make a good living doing pro wrestling? I'm just curious. You don't have to answer. You don't make a good living in the indies, my friend. You have to have a name in pro wrestling to make a living at all. Fortunately, when I was doing different things. During my wrestling career, I always had a day job, or for several years, I was also doing stand-up. Now, stand-up provided me a living, but no, you don't. In the indies, you don't make enough money to make a living. What you can nowadays if you're a big name in the indies, but it's not going to be a super comfortable living, and you're going to travel a lot. Chrome says, is it a subconscious fear of needles maybe? No, that's why it confuses me. Now, I go to get blood drawn or something, doesn't faze me at all. I'm one of these people, they'll always say, okay, now look away, I'm going to do it. It's like, I don't need to look away. I know what you're going to do. You're going to stick a needle in my arm. Doesn't bother me even a little. I don't know what it is. Something about it. I don't know. Big Z says, besides the bumping, wrestling must have been fun, huh? I loved it. Loved every second of it. I mean, you have to love wrestling to stay in it that long, because it hurts so much and it beats you up so severely. If you don't love it, you won't do it for any significant length of time. Kaiser says, by the way, with Spy X Family, I read a predecessor web manga called It's My Life. Came out in 2016, has a pink-haired, bob-cut mystery Anya-like girl and retired knight in green who's obsessed with his house. Really? It's My Life. I never heard of that one. Swift Raptor says, I can kill spiders, but cockroaches I have a hard time killing. They're fast as hell. Yeah, they are. Little shitheads. Chrome says, just glad we're finally getting some of the long voted for series off the poll finally. It's been too long for Goblin Slayer. Agreed. Agreed. I mean, there's so much great anime out there that it's just taken so long, so many years for us to get through the real top end things that we know everybody wants to see. And like you say, now we're getting to some of the ones that were perpetual also ran. So that's cool. I like it. HD says, the Hololive VTubers have so many viewers. Oh my God. Have you ever seen one of their streams? It's crazy. Oh, I have. It is crazy. It is crazy. Again, I think they deserve them. I think they're wildly entertaining. They're so much fun. All right, guys, I gotta go. This stream was a blast. I had a really good time. As I said, I'm trying to rework my schedule. I've been getting up even earlier to where I can have more time in the afternoons. So if, fingers crossed, all goes well with the creation of this VTuber model, the VTuber model can have some extended streams, starting with gaming, and we'll see where it takes us from there. But fingers crossed. And again, these streams won't end. I don't want anybody to think that we'll still be doing our regular chat streams and stuff. That won't be through any VTube model. But this was fun, and for me anyway, this did exactly what I was hoping for. It just took away for whatever hour and 40 minutes here. Just a little bit of an hour and 40-minute escape from all the stupid shit that goes on in the world. I think we need to do more of these types of streams. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for all the conversation. This was a really, really good time. And I'll talk to you guys really soon.